Man,
on, man.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I saw you, of course, at the PCF show, but in terms of trying to carry on a conversation with you, it wasn't going to happen.
No.
That was a busy show.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. A lot of traffic, a lot of enthusiasm. It seemed like, for sure, it was the feeling that you would, expect from it being the last show, and everybody's like ready to get going. Obviously great fishing we've had.
Oh yeah.
So everyone's fired up on that, and the deals are just pouring out. Everybody that was there, I know, was commenting on how good the deals were at the show. So I think everybody was in that mood, and it seemed like everybody that walked in the booth either had something in their hand when they walked in, or had something in their hand when they walked out.
Yeah,
so
it sure did.
Yeah, everybody was buying and just super excited. So that was cool.
Yeah, and that free line deal, man.
Yeah.
That was a killer deal, huh?
I know. Yeah, I was kind of like thinking, what these guys get themselves into, first of all, because that's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And thinking.
Just the logistics of doing it, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Just physically actually putting the line on, much less the cost and all that stuff.
I wonder how many reels they put line on.
I was talking to somebody, Matt. He was actually doing the line there, but
thousands, right?
Yeah, it was a lot. I forget what it was. It was a pretty big number.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, like, I wonder if they'll do it again. I think, man, this is too much. But apparently, I was talking to one of the reps, and they're like, yeah, we're already on board. We're gonna do it again next year, and we thought it was a big success. And I was like, wow, that's good, in the sense of feeling like, okay, industry's in. These guys are serious about it. And not what I expected. I thought for sure they were going to say, well, we'll think about it, but apparently they felt it was a good deal, and it was for the consumer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I should have said welcome to Tackle Shop Confessions. We're here live from Island Fishing Tqckle in Carson, California, with Sam de la Torre, of course, and yours truly, Phil Frieman. And it's really great to be with you. We have some incredible fishing to talk to you about. We'll be taking your questions. Of course, we'll be turning you on to some great fishing opportunities coming up, especially this weekend on St. Patrick's Day. And we're looking at the PCS show because it was great. And, that's my stomping grounds there where I bartend.
Yes.
So I found my son, of course, bellied up to a bar there. And I knew all the bartenders. So I, of course, told him, don't let this guy give you any trouble here. He had a great time. I saw the people over there at the end, all excited about our 5-day trip. Man, that snuck up in a hurry.
That's what.
Yeah.
So it's less than a month.
Yeah. Frickin' the whole year's going by already. What the heck?
Not that far down the road.
It's starting to fly here on us, man. It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
So when did you get back from the show? Well, let me think. What is today? Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday, yeah.
So you came back Sunday night?
Sunday night, yeah.
Yeah.
So
what time did
Sunday
you get
night.
finished here?
About 10 o'clock.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The guys were pretty tired. Not late, but just tuckered out. We were all just, tired from just moving stuff. But it was awesome. I mean, it's the same thing. I've been doing the shows for 25 years. I've done it 10 years here now, and then all the time that I worked at Baja, I did it all those years as well. So it's nothing new to me. I definitely feel it a little bit more. I felt like back then, I was a little more energy on Monday morning.
Yeah.
But it's fortunate that I can still do it. And I'm going to do it as long as I can. I love doing the shows.
Do you really?
I do,
you obviously do.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy a few parts of it. I mean, obviously, I enjoy talking to people and helping them out. That's something that I really like to do. And it's like speed dating. You're doing it 100 miles an hour when you're at the show. But I really also enjoy the challenge of the logistics. I enjoy the challenge of figuring out what people are going to buy. The one-to-one, you feel like you're a used car salesman, selling a car every 5 minutes type of thing, But it's just that idea of trying to figure it out, trying to help people out, trying to see what it is that's going to motivate them to make the right choice or even just make a choice. And so, to me, altogether, it's like a huge problem-solving decathlon, And I think it's in my nature to just try to do that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I had so much fun just walking around, meeting people. A lot of people are huge fans of Tackle Shop Confessions. I don't know if you heard that with some frequency or not. But
so much. I mean, that's another part of it too. I mean, the more we do the show, the more we get customers that come in and just comment on it. And sometimes I feel like, well, that's why they want to come in and just say that, and it's a courtesy thing, and I feel like that, and I appreciate it a lot.
Me too.
But at the shows, man, so many people that are out of our area. I mean, my own customers that are here, we have conversations, and so we talk about it, and they'll bring something up and things like that. But so many people that are not from the area, and so they'll mention, oh, I see you on the show, and it's, oh, cool, where do you live, and it's like more than half the time it's way out of the area, so
which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. So you're getting that reach.
When I was doing 976 tuna, I had a certain, is in this little fish pond that we're in.
Yeah.
But not like this, and I think obviously it's because people really couldn't even see me when I was doing the phone recordings and stuff. But now they see, they get sick to their stomach when they take a good look at me. But it was great. It was really good. We got a ton of questions. Lots of people watching already. Don't forget, any questions with any kind of or requirement of knowledge, I'll pass those off to Sam because I'm lacking there. And by the way, everybody, I totally screwed up today. I come walking in here about 5 o'clock and look at Sam, and I said, hey, Sam.
I got to leave.
I don't have any microphones. Zoom to Seal Beach. Zoom back. That's why we're on just a little bit late. But, I was zooming all over the place. You want me to read a couple comments?
Go for it.
Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll start getting into the show. Dan Smith, who's a fantastic guy down there in San Diego, California. Hello, Sam, Phil, and all you salty dogs at the shop and watching. David Rosenthal, good evening, Phil and Sam. David, it was so good to see you at the PCS show, and we were using your pliers down there on our surf fishing event, which I'll talk to you about, Sam, and let you know how that went. That was a lot of fun. Let you all know about it also. Tony says, hi, guys. Good afternoon, Sam and Phil. Phil, how are you doing? Tony, thank you so much for asking. I'll be perfectly, might as well be honest about this, right? I went to the doctor Monday, and I still have a blockage at the bottom. Here we go. I shouldn't get into it. I got a blockage in my esophagus. Doesn't appear to be cancer. They did a couple of biopsies. I think I'm good there. He's going to refer me to a surgeon, so they'll get this thing all untangled. I think it looks like kind of a rock cod ganglion that's all tangled up in there. So I'm either going to get the top surgeon to do it, or I'm going to talk Roy Rose into coming over with a fillet knife. One of those two, and see if we can untangle it. Tony, thank you. I appreciate you asking, my friend. Gary Bush, good afternoon, Phil. Sorry I missed you at PCS. I'm sorry, too. Awesome show and great deals. Again, hi from New Orleans? Maybe, yeah. All right, Gary, good to see you. Q-Ball says, hello, Sam, and says, what's up? Gary Bush is from Northern California. That's right. Wow. Scott Butchert, or whatever it is. It's not Greg Butchert. So something's going on here. What are we doing?
Greg kicked him off his account.
No kidding. Yeah, Greg had him arrested.
Yeah.
We're not getting any chicken wings anytime in the near future, Sam. Scott wants to know what the itinerary is on the 5-day trip. Scott, I would address that question to the crew of the Independence because I am on board with you. I'm guessing
halibut,
white sea bass,
wide open,
rockfish. Yeah, no kidding, man. I'd be all for that on a day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, out catching bluefin,
That's 80 a day. That'd be 400 halibut.
Oh my God. Is that true? Can you have it?
No, I don't think so. You can't be in possession of
400 plus on the flatties. Oh my God. Can you imagine how PO'd people would be? Sean Morgan's in the Bahamas now, and he sent a shark video. Did you see it? It's a dumb nurse shark swimming by, and he's going, shark, it's a man-eater. Jump in, boys. And there's some kids, like teenagers. So they jump in, and they start swimming to it. He's going, they're man-eaters. Be careful out there. And nurse sharks are not. Oh my God, the commentary for people that are not like the fishing community. They're like, they are not man-eaters. You're demonizing these poor animals. And I'm laughing because he's so funny the way he does everything. So anyway, I digress. Greg Bates, fishing, Scott. Yeah, really. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Scott. We're fishing. Scott is on the Mission Bell right now. I wonder if they had any yellows at the Coronado Islands. They had 4 yesterday, so I'd love some info, Scott. Q-Ball, Greg, I was gonna, but absolutely. 5 days of hardcore fishing. That's what we're doing, Scott, and it should be a fantastic trip. Daniel says, hello, Tony. Sam, would the Phoenix Megalodon, is it Megalodon? Mm-hmm. I'm learning, man.
Wow, impressive.
Oh, my God. Usually you got to fill in, like I go, the Phoenix Meg, and then you'll say Megalodon. Yeah. With the Phoenix Megalodon 608, would work for yo-yo fishing.
You took your brain pills this morning, huh?
I just had a cup of coffee, man.
Yeah, it'd work fine. It's a little lighter than I think some guys would like, but definitely it would work fine. It's intended more for vertical jigging. So it does have a certain tip for that, and it might be a little bit light in the tip for that, but honestly, not by much. So, if that's something you want to take and maybe cut down one of your rods, by not, having to take an extra yo-yo rod, I think it'd be okay. It wouldn't be something that I would personally use for that. I would take a separate longer rod, an 8-foot rod. I like an 8-foot rod for yo-yo fishing, but in a pinch, for sure, it would be something you could use.
All right, very good. Hey, I just want to mention that at Ventura Sport Fishing this weekend, the Island Spirit is running both on Saturday and Sunday. You can call for a reservation, and if you mention preseason 20 on your phone call, they'll knock 20% off, or you can book online and then at checkout put preseason 20. And on Sundays on the Island Spirit, kids 12 and under fish free with a paid adult. So great opportunity. 805-676-3474. And I did an interview last night. And man, I'll tell you, we went over everything halibut. He went over it all. Yeah. Daniel did a great job. So you might want to check that out. It's on the morning briefing also. Brian Brown. Hey, Sam, what line do you recommend to increase the capacity on the Lexa 400? Also, how much of 40 to 50 pound could you expect?
So, you're going to get into this conversation about, line brands and things like that. In that small of a reel, when you only have so much volume, to fill, you're not going to have a huge variance in line capacity. that Shimano the Power Pro Max Quattro is probably going to be the thinnest in that category and get you the most line. But any kind of standard line, 40 or 50 pound, you're going to get right around 300 yards. But even if you were to go with one of these other lines, it's only going to net you maybe another 25 to 30 yards. So you're not going to be able to get a whole lot more line with something else, just because the volume that you fill in is only so big, so you can only increase it by so much. So that's going to be it. But honestly, even with 50 pound, that's what I fished mine with, 300 yards. I've caught a lot of nice fish on it, a lot of yellowtail, tuna, and so I think I wouldn't be so concerned with that. I mean, the other thing I would kind of look at in that situation is that since you are going to be fishing with a little bit less line than you would on a larger reel, is you're not going to be able to do certain things like a super long soak, or maybe fish like really deep water, like jigging or something like that at night for tuna, where you already start out, when you hook a fish, when you already start out with like 100 yards of line now, you're going to be at a deficit. So that's going to be the limitation of that reel. So, that's would be my comments on that. Also, you might consider that Lexa 500. That we sold a whole bunch of at the show. We actually sold out of some of the models, but that's going to get you a whole nother, at least 25% more line right off the bat, on top of whatever kind of small diameter line you get. So that's about as much as I can say on that. Yep.
Can people come in now to Island Fishing Tqckle and get a Lexa 500?
Yeah. So we still have some in stock. We have some of the left-handed models. In the right-handed, we do have the 5-to-1 and 6-to-1, and so we're selling those out pretty good. I was talking to Daiwa. It looks like we're going to get maybe a few more at the end of this month, and then a few more in May.
Oh, cool.
So it looks like they got them coming in at a pretty good rate. I don't foresee being out of them for 4 or 5 months or something like that. So I think by the time the season gets on in full speed, we should be in pretty good stock, I think, from what they were telling me.
That's good. When you were doing the Bart Hall show, you told me, hey, this was a surprise. We sold all this stuff here, and then we went to Del Mar and we sold this. Any surprise at the PCS show, or did something take you by surprise? Like, wow, they're buying the hell out of this, and I didn't expect it, or not?
Not really, not to that extent. I mean, we did sell some different stuff, but I guess now nothing surprises me. We definitely didn't sell as much fluorocarbon as we did. I mean, at at Long Beach, we sold a ton of fluorocarbon. I mean, it's probably the most fluorocarbon we ever sold.
Yeah.
At San Diego, we sold a lot of different stuff, but one of the things that we sold a lot of was kill bags.
Right.
Was more than, we sold more kill bags. Well, I would say this, the amount of kill bags that we sold at San Diego was almost the amount of kill bags that were sold from all the dealers at PCS.
Whoa.
So that was crazy. And there wasn't that many. We probably sold like 10 down there. But, usually I would have thought for PCS, there would have been like 100 of them sold or something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
And that wasn't the case.
It's so weird how that happens.
I don't know. Yeah,
There's no explaining it.
No rhyme or reason to it in my eyes. We did sell a lot of reels, but we sold a lot of reels at Long Beach too. So yeah, nothing really too crazy. We did sell a lot of blanks. I think maybe I wouldn't say more than I expected. We had all of the components manufacturers at PCS. Fuji was there, American Tackle, Batson, with Alp stuff. And so that usually will kind of bring that customer there because they want to go see that kind of product. But we did sell a lot of blanks there, so that was kind of cool. But nothing too crazy as far as that, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I forgot, man, and you maybe haven't seen the promotion I've been doing. You and I are supposed to eat baby eels on the show tonight that Jack Sepulveda gave you.
Oh, that's right.
Do you have that here? Or?
I know where it's at. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
And does it open right up? Are you going to eat one on camera?
I'm not going to eat one, no.
Well, I want to give my esophagus a treat.
You sure?
Sure, to make
right,
probably.
Go find it. Well,
I don't think I've ever thrown up on the show yet, have I?
No.
No, well, here's a first time for everything, man. And then we're going to have some more questions in a second. Also, the El Patron has moved over to Long Beach Sport Fishing, and they have some great trips this weekend for you. St. Patrick's Day, what are you doing? Sure, you're going on the El Patron to Catalina Island. Trips are limited to only 20 people on Saturday and Sunday, and they are going to head over there and fish for, whitefish and sculpin and maybe a halibut or two. So you can give Long Beach Sport Fishing a call or book online, longbeachsportfishing.com, and jump on the El Patron for this Saturday and Sunday. Only $135, limited to 20 people, headed to Catalina Island. 310-432-8993. And also remember, kids fish free on the Island Spirit on Sunday, and you can knock 20% off your bill. You can do it by calling the landing. They're probably closed right now, but tomorrow give them a call and mention preseason 20, or just go online, book your trip. And in fact, if you book before April 1st, you can book 10 trips in the future, and you'll knock 20% off every trip. You'll save several $100s if you're going on multiple trips. So that is a really good idea. Keep that in mind. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we have the Albacore forecast. We're going to do one every single month, and I've got the March. Perfect, thank you. You're not going to try them?
No, I'm good.
It's kind of a challenge thing. Oh, perfect. This will be easy to do. I'm going to think about it just for a second. Eels, baby eels, that doesn't sound that bad. All right, Doug Tilk. Doug, we love Doug. He's a huge Friedman Adventures family member. He brought you the Friedman Adventures shirt so you could rub it in my face. He got Michael Limon a rod and reel here recently. He provides all kinds of stuff for our Christmas party, bought all the He's just a great guy. Anyway, he's in Texas, and he says, hello, Phil and Sam from Lake Sam Rayburn. I think a former Speaker of the House, if I've got that right. Yesterday, bass fishing. Today, crappie fishing. We kept 26 fish in 3 hours. Crappie to 2 pounds. That sounds like a ball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yesterday, I ran a photo of Doug with a nice 6-pound bass. So he had a nice fish for sure. Doug, thanks for checking in. Always good to see you. Tim P., was PCS better than the Hall show? Blink 3 times if yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we were just talking about this earlier, and in many ways, it was better, but better depending on what you're looking for. In fact, I was talking to a customer just yesterday, and he went to the Bart Hall show, Long Beach, and he said that he went there knowing ahead of time that it was definitely going to be a little bit more walking room,
Yeah, mellow, right?
Yeah, a little more mellow, Yeah. And so he heard the reports of the PCS show, and he said, is exactly what he expected. He saw all the pictures and the videos, and he said, yeah, it was crowded. He knows he wouldn't have been able to possibly not get to the things that he wanted to get to. So yeah, it really depends on what you're looking for. I mean, all the shows, in general, I think are going to produce a certain amount of, this is what I expected or I didn't expect this type of thing, and so, to a degree, I think most people, what they're looking for is to be able to see the most booths. And that's what the PCS show provided. They're able to, for guys that wanted to go down there and check out more things, But in my eyes, fishing tackle, it's the same rod and reel. It's the same line that you're going to buy at either one. So there wasn't any kind of better deals there. That I didn't see at all. But but definitely if you want to just check out some stuff, there's definitely more stuff to check out.
Do you feel this kind of like, hey, you got to either be on this show or that? You can't be on both when you can.
Yeah,
You know,
for
you
sure.
can say, hey, I like both shows.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that I do feel. I feel like there's definitely an air of, you gotta make a choice. Yeah, you gotta make a choice. Which team.
You're either with us or against us.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, and I think maybe it's just like that. Maybe the nature of a hobby. There's guys that fish certain long range boats, or like, oh, you fish that boat, or
yeah, that's
certain
fair.
landings.
It's kind of competitive.
Yeah, if you fish, either you fish on the Freedom or you fish on the Tornado.
Yes.
Or back in the day, maybe you fished the Blackjack.
Right.
And a lot of guys, they were regulars. And the last thing you want is the other boat taking your regulars. And maybe that's just kind of a Southern California fishing community thing. I don't certainly feel that way. I mean, I think a lot of guys do. That's like, that's their boat, that's their captain, that's who they fish with, that's the crew members they like to fish with, that kind of thing. So,
it's funny.
Maybe it's like that.
It's really funny you say that, because it just brings back memories of most of the time I was with this boat all the time. But this guy invited me. It's like I'm trying to sneak down so they don't see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and then if you do and they do see it, the next time you run into them, it's like you just shoved a freaking puñal in their espalda, right? And they're back with a knife.
It's like that.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I sometimes I'll get it in here too. So like a guy will come in and he's got let's say he's got a T-shirt from Pete's, or he's got a T-shirt from wherever,
and he'll say, "Oh, sorry."
Sorry, man. I'm like, it's a T-shirt. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't hurt me in any way. But then it gets me thinking. I wonder if that same person has worn an Island T-shirt at another shop
and got some hell for it.
Yeah, and somebody told him something. And I'm like,
come in here wearing that thing?
And I'm like, that's kind of silly. It's a fishing shirt. I mean, I don't know. To me, I feel like there's no reason to feel that way. I mean, we're all one group.
Yeah.
We're all one
Or we
family.
should be.
I'd be more upset if the guy was coming in here wearing a golf shirt or something. It's like, that's what we're really fighting, is other hobbies.
Yeah.
As far as competition, I mean, we're not really fighting each other as other shops or other boats or other shows or whatever. I mean, we all gotta feel more together on that, I think. I don't know.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for being with us. Hit that like button, everybody. Ton of people watching the show. It's great to be here with Sam De La Torre and with all of you. Don't forget morning briefing tomorrow morning, and also tonight at 8, the albacore forecast. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it. And I will be eating baby eels in just a little bit. You're not going to do it. Why, does that just gross you out? Or?
Actually, I just ate right before you came in.
Oh, get out of here.
I did.
Yeah, you BSer. All right, Red Pill. Sam, thanks for the great deals at the PCS show. Was able to pick up an 800M. Hey, Sam, I have a 1.75 day on the Pride next month. What setup should I bring?
It sounds like from what they've been doing up to now has been, a lot of this inshore coastal fishing. So, 15 pound all the way up to maybe 40 pound. We'll see if this yellowtail continues to kind of make their trek up. That might be something to keep an eye on, and maybe they might come up and we might have to fish some 40 pound. I wouldn't think anything bigger than 40 pound at this moment right now. And you're probably going to be fishing mostly 20 and 25 pound. But you know what? You might even bring a bass rod. That bass might start to happen. The stuff that's even on the half day boats, those guys are targeting some bass and having some success. Mostly sand bass, not really the same thing you do on a day and 3/4, but maybe more of that calico stuff, especially with Sean, and those guys. They really kind of hug the islands, and that's kind of their thing until the tuna starts showing up. So you just think island fishing.
Yeah, and pay attention to what's going on. Of course, Sam and I will cover it here in case there's a bluefin bite and you need to bring your heavy gear.
Yeah, that might start to happen.
You might have to switch it up. And by the way, this just opens the door to mention one more time again, 16 anglers on the Pride, 80 halibut the other day. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's almost like more rare than catching a wahoo or something like that. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of a limit of halibut.
Yeah,
ever, as far as I can
every
think.
single person on the boat.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen, and it just, man, it bodes well for this year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really does.
That's great. It's great to see. A lot of the things that contribute to that. It's like, hopefully it's going to bring other stuff too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, we had that squid as a magnet all year long. Maybe the management's been good. So everything just seems to be, coming together. You mentioned yellowtail. We see it at San Quintin. We see it up there at Collinet. We see it at Santo Tomas. We see it at Ensenada. We saw it at the Coronado Islands yesterday. La Jolla. It's just pointing up this way. One day someone's going to catch one out here.
I think so,
on the Horseshoe or somewhere around that. Maybe a private boater to start it, and then they'll get back to it. All right. Let's see. Jake says hello, everyone. Jake, thanks for joining us, my friend. Gary Bush up there in Northern California, as the sirens are blaring here in celebration of Tackle Shop Confessions. Quick question. I am left-handed and using a 30 Abbott for my night flat falls. You think an HX Raptor with a 100-pound braid would work much lighter to fish all night?
For sure. You know, that reel there has caught a lot of big fish. If it was me personally, I probably would look for that HX Wide Raptor 3-speed. That little reel there will hold about 650 yards of 100. And with that low gear, that 3-speed low gear, you got so much torque. And I think, what's it, Martinez?
Joe Martinez?
Joe Martinez caught that big giant tuna on that reel. So.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He got it on an HX Wide Raptor. So yeah, you're in good hands there. So
that was a 315 or something like that, right?
Monster.
Yeah.
So
I haven't heard from Joe for a long time.
Yeah, definitely no problem fishing an HX for that stuff.
All right, good stuff. Hey, by the way, I did that interview the other night with Daniel on the Island Spirit. He got hooked. I mean, he was kind of hooked on fishing. He really got hooked on it. He was out as a passenger with fishing with Tucker McCombs as a junior. He caught a 55-pound halibut, which is a junior IFGA record. Still has that record.
Wow.
And that's what he said after that. I was done.
Yeah.
I was destined to be running boats after that. Exactly. Dan Smith, Phil, if they get that out of you by the 20th, can I have it for lobster bait? Is he talking about that? Of course. I'll make sure the surgeon knows to put that aside for you. Who knows, Dan? You may have started something. I'll have to grow these things internally and start selling these things. It may come up in a few minutes with these baby eels. Jack Sepulveda is certainly hoping they do. He says, love you, and you're in our prayers. Hey, thank you. I think I'm good. Patrick and Sarah Harnjack up there in Montana send their very best. Slam and Sammy, good afternoon, Sam and Phil. Great show as always, fellas. Thank you so much. Sammy for being here. I have a question. Do you recommend servicing your reels every season, or how do you know when it's time to service your reels? Great question.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because there's not really like an hour meter on them or something like that. There really isn't any way to measure like salt exposure or wear and tear like that. A year is kind of a safe amount. Typically you don't really need to do it that often. Personally, myself with my own reels, I kind of wait till I feel something. You feel it makes a weird noise, or the free spool starts to kind of, lose a little bit of free spool or something like that. Reels these days are pretty darn, robust. It really takes a lot for a reel to not work right. But generally, I always tell people is until you start feeling something weird, you really don't have to. Now, that being said, it's a good idea to do it in the off season, when you're not going to use them for a while, because what ends up happening is that occasionally some parts are back ordered. And so let's say you bring in your reel, 2 weeks before a trip, and we'll say, well, normally we'll get it done in 2 weeks, so okay, you're safe. But then we go to order a part that reel may need, and that part's back ordered, and it's kind of out of our control, So bringing them in the off season when you're not going to use them for a couple of months would be just a safe way to do it. But generally, personally myself, I really don't service them until I really need to. Some reels that I haven't serviced in a couple years, but it also has to do with how much fishing you do. If you have a private boat that has a lot of water exposure, you're probably going to service your reels a lot more. And then the kind of reels you have as well. A larger reel like a Saltis, Saltiga, Trinidad Torium, like those larger full-size conventional reels, are a lot better sealed, and so water is not going to get into them as easily as compared to like maybe a smaller bait caster or something like that is a lot more open. They're so lightweight, but part of that lightweightness comes from not having such a big heavy duty frame. So those reels for a private boater are definitely not going to last as long. So things like that happen. Maybe you go on a trip and it's super rough, or maybe some boat, he's got a new deckhand and they hose down all the reels. You get that kind of treatment, and you might need a silver surreal a lot quicker. So, there really isn't a sliding scale on this that you can use and say, well, this is how much you do this reel on that reel. If you do it once a year, you should be more than plenty good. If you want to just bring it in and kind of have us take a look at it, I can take a look at it and say, yeah, you know what, this reel, I'd fish it just how it is. Or I can tell you, you know what, I'd really service this reel if I was you. You can bring it in, and within a couple of minutes, at least I can make a quick assessment. But if you're going to do it once a year, you'll be more than good.
All right, good stuff. Very good question, Sammy. Thank you. Scott Bouchard, the Royal Polaris, just left on a tuna trip today.
All right.
Thank you, Scott. Jake Lightford, I'm just waiting for the ice to disappear off the lakes here in Ontario. Ha ha ha. Hey, Jake, good to have you with us, man. You're going to have to provide me with some photos or video, or Sam and I are going to have to come out and saw a hole in the ice and fish with you. And Scott Bouchard is back clarifying that it's an 18-day trip. So it kind of sounded the way Scott said. They were going to go out and look for bluefin on a short trip, but they're on a long-range trip, Scott. It could be tuna. It could be wahoo, Scott. It could be a variety of other species also. But we deeply appreciate you sharing that with us. DJ TJ Smooth. Good evening, gentlemen. Is it April 4th yet? I'm ready to go fishing. Obviously, he is on our 5-day trip, which I'm excited about. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to celebrate my son Philip's birthday. We probably should celebrate the fact that he's going to have a baby in August, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Scott Buchert says he's on a half day today and tomorrow. He's really getting us in touch with all the very latest. Yeah, Scott, what time are you showering tonight, and do you use deodorant before you go to sleep at night? I would like to know exactly what's going on. Raul Alvarez. Hey, Raul, it is great to see you. Phil, Sam, what's up? Thinking of getting the Lexa 500. What gear ratio do you recommend? Phil, what's the news on the Friedman swag? Look at, man, see this hat right here? I'm telling you. Huh? Yeah, it's the start of something big and grand and incredible. I keep looking out there because somebody pulled up out there.
It's also the end.
The end of my life, yes. I think Sam's right. Sam, let's kind of get off the merch thing by, why don't you answer Raul's question?
What did he ask?
You're too busy picking on me.
So, I mean, they make 4 different gear ratios, so I recommend them all, really, for depending on what you're going to use them for. The 5-to-1, definitely going to be more your maybe a rockfish reel, something where you might be dealing with a lot of heavy weight or live bait would be good for that one too. That 6-to-1 and 7-to-1 in the middle are going to be more your kind of all around speed, for live bait, lure fishing. That 7 to 8-to-1 is definitely going to be more on the lure side. So, it really depends on what you're trying to do with the reel. That 8-to-1 we sold quite a bit for guys wanting to fish iron. What we kind of measured was that you were thinking about that 8-to-1, and sometimes you get a gear ratio that high, you think, wow, it's too high, it's going to be too fast. But we measured the inches per crank, and the inches per crank on that 8-to-1 for that reel is about the same as like a Saltwater 40 or Trinidad 20, about the same amount of line pickup per crank. And so, looking at it that way, since those 2 reels are pretty much the most popular jig reels for surface iron, we thought that 8-to-1 would actually be pretty dang good. So, I don't think you can go too high on these reels, but a 7-to-1 is probably going to be the most common size, the one that most people want. 6-to-1 is going to be, kind of more your live bait size, and that 5-to-1 is going to be where you just need the maximum torque and you want to have the most pulling power. But that being said, that 5-to-1 is definitely going to be maybe a little too slow for some different kind of jigs. So I don't know if that really helps you. They're all really good. It just depends on what you're going to do.
All right, very good. Sniper Gene has a great question. Really, really great question. Hey, Sam, what's the main difference between Seaguar Gold, Blue, and Green fluorocarbon? When do you use these?
The main difference is about $5. No, I'm just kidding.
Between each one?
No. So they are different. The gold label is the newest one. The blue label, the original one, and the green one, kind of in the middle there. When the blue label came out, it was designed, for it being a low visibility, but also one of the biggest things was that it was more line or more abrasion resistant, and so that was kind of a big deal on that blue stuff. When the green came out, they or the Premier, it came out as a more supple line. It wasn't as hard as the blue, and so it was kind of more of a fly line live bait type of line where it.
You see that?
Yeah.
They are little friggin' eels, aren't they?
are.
I'll take them out there and show everybody in a second.
And so that's where the green or the Premier label kind of came around, was fly line fishing. You know, when we had a lot of that albacore and small tuna, you know, in our waters, that line really excelled. Now the gold label is kind of a mix between the two. It's a smaller diameter, but also is a little bit harder. So it has pretty good line abrasion, and also because of the smaller diameter, it's a little bit more limp than the blue. You know, so as far as when to use what, the gold label is definitely, you know, at least in the last since it's come out, been super popular fly line fishing. You know, I don't know if it has the same tensile strength as the blue. Just from my own kind of feeling it, you know, you could definitely feel the difference in diameter. To me, I'm kind of more old school, feeling like, you know, you want it to be thicker so it's stronger.
I'm just showing our eels
Eels
up.
for bait this morning.
Yeah, really. Well, I got to eat these things,
Yeah.
huh? I'm sorry to interrupt.
So that gold, you know, definitely fly line fishing has become kind of a go-to line. I know in the beginning I was a little bit kind of suspect on it. You know, I wasn't really sure whether it was going to be something I could really support. But man, guys have done really good with it. You know, so I think that gold label is definitely a great line. The green is definitely going to be something when we start getting into some smaller baits, just have a hard time, you know, swimming around. And then the blue. You know, I still use that for almost everything, but definitely going to be using it for when I'm having to deal with any kind of structure fishing. So sea bass fishing, drop a loop fishing, anything like that, where you're dealing with a lot of structure, that's where the blue comes into play.
All right, very good. And I ran and poured a little oil off of that. How do you think that looks? Terrible?
It doesn't look terrible, but it looks kind of weird.
Looks like worms or something.
Yeah, it
doesn't
looks like worms. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to hit this up. I'm gearing up. I'm psyching up to do it. Cue Ball says, bait the hook. We're fishing for Phil. Yeah, I think you're right, Cue Ball. Rick Slater, hey, gentlemen, do you use or believe in tide graph watches? Love my Casio motivates me.
All right. Yeah, I don't have one. I don't wear watches, but I'm sure that they're good. Yeah.
What is it exactly?
So he's saying that it's a watch that has a tide chart.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
It updates the tide charts.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, nowadays with phones,
Yeah.
you know, you're not really. It isn't like the tide changes like one minute to the next. You know, so typically now with you know, cell phones, you can see the tides coming up and you plan your trip that way. But I guess having it on your phone would be kind of cool too.
Yeah. Robert Graber says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for doing the show, even if it is on a different night. Are we doing different nights or
This
what?
will be the last night.
Yeah, oh, thank God.
No,
I'm not eating these eels then.
Every night, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so for right now,
We're bouncing around a little
we're
bit.
going to bounce around until we get into a you know, kind of more regular schedule. But it might be Tuesdays. For right now, it'll be next Tuesday until next Tuesday comes.
Because we are working this around Sam's kids, Little League and stuff like that, which is far more important, may I say, than Tackle Shop Confessions. Kids going to school and doing all that great stuff. So we will happily do that. Camargo 1. Hello, Phil and Sam. It's great to see you both have survived the world tour. Rest up and get ready for next year. Phil, what's the best hotel to stay and fish in Cabo or Baja for my families? Hotel? Man, I have no idea. I haven't been down to Cabo for a while. Yeah, so I have no recommendation there. Fishing-wise, I love Pisces Fleet. They've always done a really great job down there. And also my friend Sean Morgan, who has been running a yacht in both, that's another funny thing he sent me, I got to tell you about. He's in Bermuda right now, running out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but he's also in San Jose del Cabo a lot of the year. It's a pricey, really nice yacht, but he's a funny guy. You're going to get entertained. He's a great fisherman. He fished here in SoCal for many, many years. You could send me a text too, and I'll do a little research for you. I'd be happy to do that. 657-227-6459, and I'll tune you up on that. Cabo has become a little too touristy for me, so I prefer like the Mexican, like maybe a Laredo or something like that. Having said that, fishing in Cabo is spectacular.
Yeah.
And the view, I mean, when you see the arch and you see that, it's really a marvel of nature.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It really is. So, yeah, I get all that for sure. Robert Graber, Sam, thanks for hooking me up with both years of special edition Mad Max.
Yeah.
Was Robert at the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was down there helping.
I probably saw him and forgot.
Yeah. That's probably one of the things that I will say was surprising is that we didn't sell out of the special edition Mad Max.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.
Last year, I mean, we had to limit it. I mean, to like one per person.
Yeah.
And this year, it wasn't the case.
Did you sell a lot? Or?
We sold a lot. Yeah, but definitely have some left. So if you guys that didn't make the show want to pick one of those up, we still have them here. Not a ton, but we got a few.
All right, very good. David Marin says, put those baby eels on a saltine cracker with lemon, tapatio, and enjoy. I got a little taste of oil. It's picante. It's got a little spice to it already. Hey, I'm on the carnivore diet, David. I cannot have a saltine cracker.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to have to slug these things down here in a second. Cue ball, baby eel sounds like a hook bait. They look like bait. Hey, I wonder if those would work in the surf. I should save a couple of those.
This looks like a surf bait.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I wonder how much those are. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. All right. Let's see. Eric like Huya. Want to set my Lexa 400 TW for dual purpose. Shallow, lightweight, slow pitch jigging up to 120 feet max, as well as fly lining for school size yellows and calicos. Thinking 30-pound braid. What do you say, Sam?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, I've been kind of getting my head wrapped around some of this slow pitch jigging stuff. One of the things that starts to play a big factor in slow pitch fishing is the diameter of the line. So if you're going to be especially fishing smaller jigs, 100-gram jigs, 80-gram jigs, things like that, trying to get down 200 feet, 300 feet, especially if you're drifting or if there's any kind of current, the thickness of the line, it can make or break you. It can make it so that if you have too thick a line, you just never get down, or you just need like twice the size of jig or something like that. So, that being said, the 30-pound I think you'll be pretty good with. Also, too, especially with this when you start talking yellowtail fishing, and just slow pitch jigging in general, is really making sure that your knots are strong, and are tied securely, and you take your time because you are going to be dealing with pretty much fishing the max breaking strength of your line. So keep that in mind as well. Just make sure your knots, you practice them really good.
All right, very good. Chris Navarro. Hey, Chris, you bring us that tri-tip all the time, and this Jack Sepulveda sends me baby eels, man. I'm with your tri-tip. Hey, Phil and Sam, I am Sam. Do you carry mint hookup baits in 1.5 ounce, and do you sell the packs with just the two baits?
Yeah, we have them. We have both of them. Yeah. So I think what he's talking about is the hookup baits, but how they're sold. It's two baits in a package, and then the replacement tails, which is just the tubes. We got that going too. Yeah.
All right, and Chris wants to know. He says, Sam, whitefish seems to be the target species right now. I'm going tomorrow out of Redondo Beach. What would be your go-to jigs for whitefish? I don't know about jigs. I'd say small hooks and some lighter line. But Sam, do you have a jig that the whitefish want to bite?
Yeah, they will bite. Any kind of small metal jig like a Colt Sniper, 100, 120 gram. And going back to what I was just saying, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to want to really scale back your line size. So take that into consideration, Chris. Not the line size so much of your leader. You can probably still use 20 or 25-pound leader, but your braid size you want to get down into like that 20 or 30-pound test braid. But yeah, 100 gram or so, 100 up to maybe 150 at the most if you're fishing a little bit deeper. But anything like a Colt Sniper or a small knife jig, they'll eat those up pretty good.
All right, I'm putting a 10-minute limit on my eating baby eels on the show. In 10 minutes, I will consume, I don't know how many baby eels, but I will do that just to sacrifice myself for you. Ruben A., good evening, guys. What size overall rod would you recommend pairing Alexa 400 for bass, barracuda, small bonita? Thanks in advance. Great question. Thank you, Ruben.
You're going to be into like an 8-foot, and it's going to be your kind of standard size. 8 to 9 foot, you're rated between 15 to 40 and 20 to 50 would be kind of the range window that I'd be looking at, but something like that. Something that has a trigger, kind of lighter weight, smaller diameter for that smaller reel like that.
All right, surging up to almost 100 viewers now. Right when you thought maybe we could end the show early tonight and Sam could get some sleep, the viewers start jumping on here. So great stuff. Appreciate you all being here. Cue Ball, it's nice to have a main boat and crew you love to fish with. Yeah, give your jackpots back to the deck. Fish like a gentleman and tip well. After 10 to 15 years, you're getting invited on crew trips and deadheading. You treat the crew right, they're going to treat you right? And
yeah,
it is.
For sure.
There's something about, I remember my old college professor, Pete Hoffman, his dad was a doctor, and he said he could meet like the President of the United States, or he could meet a senator or some big shot. Nothing made him feel more puffed up and important than when Manny Silva down there on the Malahini walked up and said, "Hey, Doc, good morning."
Yeah.
It made him feel so great. And, there's something to be said about that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is, it's among your peers, you're someone that's kind of recognized and respected, it's going to make you feel good, that especially in, I think as men, in that kind of hobby atmosphere, a guy that kind of like says, yeah, you're one of us, it makes you feel good. I mean, we all at the root of it all want to be part of a group and be accepted by that group. It's kind of just human nature. And so when they express that type of acceptance, it just feels good. It feels good that you are, kind of regarded that way, I think.
100%. Rocket Dog says hello. Good to see you here, Rocket Dog. Jack Sepulveda, who sent these baby eels down here tonight. I don't know if I should be nice to Jack or angry at Jack. One of the two. Hey, Jack, great to see you, my friend. Andrew Blott says, Sam, saw you at PCS Sunday. You were busy stocking rods and wanted to say hi. Walked around a bit, and the second walk by, you were not there. So, hello, he says now.
How you doing, man? Yeah. Maybe I was going to the bathroom or something. I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't remember, yeah.
Yeah, really. All right, let me get back to, there we are. Dansky, great show, guys, like always. Thank you so very much. I have an Avid HX and wanted to use it as my 80-pound setup. Would a Proteus XX H be a good rod to pair it with?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think that's their heaviest one. They do make a rail rod. I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about, but that rail rod would be what I would recommend. But I think even their heaviest live bait rod, which is I think their XXH, would probably still be okay.
All right, very good. Great question, Carlos Sanchez. Hey, fellas, quick question. What's the best way to pair IP, a rod, and reel?
IP?
Yeah, I think.
Let's see. I was pair up. The best way to pair it up. Yeah.
A rod and reel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think you just put the rod on the reel. Yeah, or the reel on the rod.
Be nice to Carlos. This is a good question he's asking. Carlos, I'm with you here. I'll eat an extra worm for you.
The one thing I will say, Carlos, it is not a quick question.
It's an in-depth type of.
Yeah, it's a very broad. That's kind of what I was making fun, I think. You definitely want to match it in two different ways. You're going to want to match it line size, so that whatever line you have on that reel or what it's designed for, the rod is also designed that way. The other thing that you want to consider is ergonomics, and basically whether the rod and the reel kind of go together. Sometimes you might have a rod that's super, super stiff and made for some high tensile fishing, but is maybe small diameter, like some of the UC stuff that they make, that Randy makes is like super strong. I mean, it'll catch a 200-pound tuna, but it's all in the smaller diameter. You know? So you go put an international 30 on that thing, it just doesn't look good, doesn't feel good together. So and vice versa, you might get like a small 2-speed, let's say, Saltiga 35 or a 40 that can land a 150-pound tuna, but you put that on a big old rail rod, it doesn't fit together. So those are the two considerations that I always look at. Also, too, is when a customer comes in and says, I'm looking for a 40-pound, setup. My first question isn't not so much what kind of brand or how much money you want to spend, but more what else do you have? Sometimes, what you are going to buy or what you think you might need, you might already have a better setup for that, and you may want to just move that setup into another spot or slot, And so, so that's kind of another thing too, is that I'll always ask what they have, and sometimes I'll take maybe a rod and reel that they have that, and maybe in my opinion, doesn't really go together. And so I might, suggest a rod for a reel that they already have, and then a reel for a rod that they already have, and now they have two match setups. So.
Oh yeah, good idea.
So sometimes you're going to buy a rod and reel that don't go together, but they'll go together with two other items that you already have. So it can be a little complicated if you're not familiar with all the stuff out there. But really, at the root of it all, you want things to kind of feel good together.
As I said from the very beginning, what an excellent question, Carlos. Very good question. Jolene Thompson, who's a dear friend of the Friedman Adventures family. It's good to see you, Jolene. She was out on the Pride the other day and had a legal halibut. Phil, it's an El Nino year, so I'll predict Wahoo off San Diego. It did happen in 2015. They made it to OC in LA. They were 3 miles off Oceanside, and we caught one with a 17-foot Parker. That was incredible. However, our El Nino is bye-bye, and we have a lot of cooling going on early as the La Nina starts to become dominant. It's hard. We have this spring predictability problem. It's so hard to predict in the spring because things just change. But right now, that's what we're looking at, and I will guarantee you, I will delve into that in our 5-minute albacore forecast, which I know you're going to run right out of here and put it on immediately. Yes. Yeah.
Put what on?
Anyway, tonight, 8 p.m., there's more on that for you. 8 p.m., right? Yeah. I got like 3 minutes and I got to eat one of these things. Do I eat one or do I eat?
You're going to be on 2 transmissions at once?
No, we'll be done by 8.
Okay.
I hope. I mean, I'm not sure. Are we going to be done?
I think so.
I was thinking about you, man. You're tired, right? How are we doing on questions? We still got a bunch here? It looks like it. Patrick Harnjack, can't wait to buy a Friedman Adventure shirt on St. Patrick's Day, only a few days away. Patrick, I love it. Roger, actually the guy's supporting me. Why am I saying that he's screwing with me? Roger Massage. Hi, Phil. Would you know about the Grunion run happening? I do, Roger. So we've had 2 nights. Tomorrow will be the 3rd, or tonight, I believe, is the 3rd and the 4th. I'd have to look at the times again. I'm a Grunion expert because I took my kids for years. My dad, I can remember him taking me, and I really like seeing that whole thing. I love going down there, man, and those frickin' birds. You get like birds just lined up, and they're all pointed out to sea. And you look at them and you're like, man, they know something is going to happen tonight. It's really remarkable. So let's say tonight they say the run is from 11 to 1 in the morning. I never show up before midnight. I always show up an hour after they predict because inevitably you go down there and you're freezing to death and your kids are like bored and it just seems like they don't show up in that first hour. So I go down there at that time. I usually go like on the 2nd or 3rd night of those runs and this early season stuff. Hey, I should be, oh no, I'm not getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope not, at least. You can go down there, check it out. March is open, so you're allowed to keep 30 of them if you want to eat them. Some people like to eat them. Some people put them in the freezer for bait because they make a remarkable bait. I got to tell you about our surf fishing thing again. It was good.
How late do they go?
It's like you usually get like an hour, hour and a half out of it.
In the year?
They're going to go through September-ish. I think they're done about October.
Okay.
And then they start in March. So like the swallows coming back to Capistrano, it's kind of like a springtime ritual.
You got to do a Friedman get-together.
Well, Chris Navarro is suggesting that, and I think we have to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe on the next run. I'll check my calendar. If I'm not on the Independence, excuse me, I'm thinking about eating these eels. I've already started to throw up. I haven't even eaten one yet. Then we'll definitely we'll do that. Chris says, I think we need to do a Friedman Adventures Grunion Run gathering. Plan it, Phil. Chris, I'm taking you up on that. Morning briefing tomorrow, I got to have it? Maybe I'll do that. We'll see what we can do.
No, it says Grunion Run Morning Briefing Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right? That's a good idea. Flip the camera on.
Yeah?
That's a bitchin' idea. Chris!
Yeah, you should have him be a producer.
I think so.
Yeah.
Both you guys. All right, good stuff. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like an adventure to me. Yeah, and so Roger would be in on it. We're going to do that, everybody. And I'll try to find, obviously, like a Friday or Saturday night so the kids can come.
That'd be cool.
Well, although we're going into Easter vacation now, right?
Yeah.
When's Easter vacation for your kids?
It's in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
after Easter.
But I think you'd want to do it too, where like it's maybe a little warmer too, not so cold.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, there's some summer nights down there where it's freaking freezing because
Yeah.
it's windy and it's just, I don't know.
Can't predict that though, huh?
I know.
Albacore you can predict, not.
Oh, I got this albacore. You wait, the 8 o'clock show tonight, man. It's
incredible.
It's
You got stats.
It's,
You got data.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. We go back and look at the '98 bite. We look at the 2008 bite. We compare water temperatures when the cooling actually started to take place.
So doesn't La
Your
Nina-
eyes are glazing over like you want to fall
La
asleep.
Nina mean that there's going to be like terrible fishing?
No, it
Does
just
it?
means it's going to be different.
Oh, but then we can't.
La Nina.
But we can't predict it though either.
The kelp's going to grow.
Yeah.
The calicos are going to bite. The halibut fishing is going to be
halibut's already
incredible.
good.
The white sea bass are going to be white sea bassing everywhere.
Is it down now?
It's starting to.
But it's up.
No, you're starting to see this cooling now. We've had that El Nino. Jolene was
Yes,
absolutely
yes.
right. Never got that warm in here.
No.
But we were under the influence of that, which I think explains some of the acceleration to the yellows and the barracuda and the blah, blah, blah. But now we're starting to experience cooling. If I have it right, the 2008. Oh, wait, I'm not blowing this. Hold on. See what you're doing to me? You're going to ruin my 8 o'clock
Gotcha.
my big debut tonight. Never mind.
He'll forget. I'll get him again.
Yeah. Should I eat this now? I'll take a
Go
little
for it.
break. Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Should I eat one or I don't have anything to drink?
So Q-Ball says the Hotel Marina in La Paz and the Pirate Fleet can't miss Soravo Island and the bacon right there. World class.
All right.
Bacon.
Cue ball knows,
Oh,
man.
He means the Dorado. Wait, Bajo Dam Ojone. I don't know. Maybe he meant Dorado or something.
Bajo Dam Ojone. ¿Qué quiere decir eso?
I don't know.
All right, here we go, Sam. You ready?
All right. Go for it.
I'm going.
I'm ready. So Rocket Dog says
Hey, they're pretty good.
Says he picked up a new Phantom 2 SD black frame and not the new silver. Thoughts on what braid backing to use it? I think the new 12 black frame, not the new silver. Yeah, I think you're talking about a Star Drag reel. I think the new ones are still Star Drags, I believe, as well. But you're probably looking at 40 or 50 pound braid in that 12. I think that'd be pretty good. Should get about 300 yards. And then
You're trying to move the show along while I'm eating these things, huh?
We're going to sit here watch you eat.
Yeah.
Who wants to see that?
Go ahead.
What do you think? All right.
It would be better on a cracker. They're not bad.
Okay.
They're good. I could finish that up, probably.
Cool.
I probably
will.
won't, though.
No.
Only because I want to try it for bait.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
All right, should I jump in here again?
Yeah.
Are we on
Raul,
Rocket Dog? Or? Raul, Sam, I picked up a 310 TTR 6480H. Do you have any info on this blank?
Well, I mean, that's a blank that was developed by Darren Delhey in conjunction with the United Composites. So it's produced by United Composites, designed by Darren. They're pretty nice. I actually pulled on them. I personally preferred the light, the 6480 light. That was one that I really liked how it bent. But the heavy was also nice as well. I think it's going to be like a 30 to 60 rated rod. And I think those ones that he was doing were like in some nice colors too. But yeah, that's kind of the background on it. Designed to be somewhat similar to like a old school 6480.
All right, very good. Rocket Dog, smash that like button, guys. Yeah, please hit that like button or Sam and I will break into tears. Mike Gaeta, hello from Oceanside. Hey, Mike, good to have you with us. Hey, Sam, I'm the vato that ordered the Akuma trolling rod from you this past weekend at the PCS show. I can't wait to pick it up. I appreciate you placing that order for me. You took care of this, vato?
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I know we talked at the other show too. We were kind of waiting to see what we were going to do it. Also, we wanted to make sure we order the right one. But yeah, we went ahead and ordered it. We're going to get it from.
Try one of those.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I think my esophagus is starting to clog up a little, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because it's they're kind of like worms, so they're wrapping up in there.
Wrapping up.
Dave Clark.
Wrap this up.
Dave Clark. Late to the party. Good evening, gentlemen. Phil, nice seeing you at the Island Tackle booth at PCS. Dave, it was great seeing you, my friend. I love seeing all the great people on
That's
Sam's.
what I predict. I predict next year, the Bar House Show, you are going to be having a booth right next to us.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
If I had a booth next to
Yeah.
somebody, I would love to
Yeah.
be. That's a good idea.
Oh, man, that's
Bart's
gonna be
he
mayhem.
wants me to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be fun. Actually, yeah, I'll have to do that. Are you going to eat one of these worms to make me do it,
So,
or eels?
Camargo says, those honeycombs look great behind you. My Torre 16 is half full after last season. Sawed off, some saws. What's the best approach to fill it with mono with braid backing? To fill in the mono with braid backing, still healthy. Yeah, I mean, half full, I would almost say it's not much on there, not worth saving it. I know that Spectre is pricey, but if it's only half full, you're probably only talking $20 or $25 worth of line at the most. Personally, myself, if it's a reel that you use a lot, I would just put all brand new braid. Now, you could back it off a little bit and maybe make sure you get to some clean line and then tie those lines together. That knot between the two braids is actually pretty sturdy. You can even do like a double unit and it'll hold pretty well. And if it's that far down, meaning like over 200 yards down or something like that, maybe even 300 yards down away from the end of your line, you're not really going to get to it too much. So that's another way you can go about it too.
All right, Tony says, hey guys, hit that like button. Jonathan K, did anyone capitalize on the Penn Visix deal at Turner's where you get a free Carnage rail rod?
I'm sure some people did. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What was that exactly?
Well, I think what he's saying is you were getting a VISX is their international line, line of reels.
Yeah.
So they were giving away one of the Penn rods with it. Yeah.
All right. I know you well enough that you're tired tonight.
I am.
I know. That's why you're reading the questions. Like, shut up for a second and get these questions in there. All right, let's keep this going because we got to get Sam to bed here. Mackie says, or William says, I'm talking grunion. We're going to put that together, you guys. Mackie, who's a great guy. He's friends with my son, and his sister went to school with my son. If I've got that right, Mackie. Hey, Phil, what pound line was everybody fishing the worms on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It looked like they were biting again. Huh?
Dude, we had another great day. I mean,
I was at the show, but
yeah, I know. Well, we'll get you guys.
Yeah.
Your kids, when they're on Easter vacation, we'll definitely do a day. I'm going to say, I saw a lot of guys fishing 12 pound like that. Not too light. Some guys will get down to that 6 and 4 pound, but I think it was around that, and I think it was pretty different. Spot fin croaker, yellowfin croaker. We didn't catch a halibut, which surprised me, but one guy was throwing a lucky craft and broke off a nice fish that he fought for a while. So it could have been a halibut, could be a ray too, but who knows. But that was a fun day. Again, Sam Cue Ball. If you're lucky enough to find a mother boat like that, it's freaking amazing. Yeah,
it is.
It is. And I think that's the Royal Star for you, right?
Yep.
Tim Knott says, hey, Sam, nice haircut. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I do. Every time before the show is a kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Clean it up a little bit.
I didn't even notice, man. I got one too, just for you. Josh Schumann, or Sermon, pardon me.
Josh Schumann.
Hey, Sam, do you think the Osea Jigger 200 HI has enough cojones to handle an accidental 80 to 90 pound bluefin? Do you want to explain cojones to our audience or just blow by that?
Yeah, I think everybody knows what that is, yeah.
Yeah, I would be too sure.
Yeah, I would think so for sure. I mean, an 80 or 90 pounder, no problem. I mean, obviously, there's definitely going to be, the biggest hurdle is probably going to be that you're probably fishing a lighter rod. But even then, the rod's not really something you're using too much to fight the fish anyway. And that reel has a pretty good amount of drag. About the only thing that I would say might be a limiting factor is if you're expecting small fish and using a lighter braid, and that tuna were maybe to swallow the jig and you might get chafed off. But as far as the reel being concerned, I don't think the reel is going to be the weak point there. Now that reel's got a lot of cojones.
All right, perfect. Sniper Gene, hey Sam, what United composite rods would you recommend for a 30-pound fly line setup? Have an accurate turn to 500 narrow to go with it.
In their factory rods, they have that Tilefish Junior. That's probably pretty much their best one. In their custom rods, they have so many. Well, I shouldn't say custom rods. In their blanks that you would make into a custom rod, they have quite a few. A lot of guys like that GP80 Mega, which actually is also a factory rod as well. But even in that 85 Mega, 90 Mag, something like that would be good too. So there's a couple different ones that'd be good depending on what kind of length you want to go with.
Hey, do you know how Scott did selling the Tatty book? Did he do well?
He did pretty good. Yeah, I asked
Yeah.
him at the end. He did really well.
Good.
He does feel like
He deserves it.
like if he would have had the books there,
Yeah.
he probably would have sold out.
Yeah.
I think definitely for sure. I picked up 4 of them myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I can't wait to get those in. Yeah, we'll show them off here when we get them.
Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
really
yeah,
are. Yeah, I was pulling for him because man, that was a
He's a good
lot of
dude.
work.
Yeah,
He's a good dude too.
yeah.
That also. So yeah, good stuff. All right, Cholula's calamari and kayak rentals. I think a show with Sam showing off his kitchen sink of rods he takes on a long range trip would be great. He could explain his reasoning for the setups. I think it would answer a lot in one spot. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe sometime in the future when you get some sleep.
Yeah. One of the things I would say about that is every trip that I go on is I usually will take a different approach. Definitely I could take the same things every time, but sometimes I'll take some different stuff just to try some different stuff. So, I am going on an R&D mission. Trying to do things on some of these trips. Trying different things. So I don't always take the same things, but there are a few things that are kind of my go-tos. But I would say every single trip, I probably take half of them that I didn't take last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're
Trying different things.
Yeah,
just
right.
Trying different things, different
That's
kind
really
of
cool.
brands, different kind of reels, different kind of everything.
By the way, I will be in Mexico tomorrow. I will be at a new tackle store down there. We're going to go
cool.
through it and show people, what you can do in Ensenada. And you suggested this like a year ago, probably. But I'm going to maybe go on 4 boats, talk to the captains, see what they have to offer, how much it costs, how you can join them, maybe 4 different boats.
Nice.
And I'll be sending that. I don't know if I'll be able to send it back because Wi-Fi is a little bit of an issue sometimes, but definitely shooting those shows in the next 2 days back here on Friday. And I will continue to do the morning briefing every single morning. All right, Scott Dickinson. Scott, welcome. Good to see you. Dan, can you post a list of sport boat trips on your Facebook page? Maybe a photo?
All right,
Dan, can you do that?
Dan should be able
This
to do
is
that.
not the, this is Scott, this is the Phil Frieman and Sam De La Torre. What's his name? Dan Hernandez has another show somewhere. I saw Dan at the show. He wasn't that far away from you, I don't think.
No.
He was in that same building, Costa
Dan
Mesa.
Hernandez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
540 Slinger.
Jeez, talk about me, man.
What? I didn't say anything
What?
bad about
What?
Sam. About Dan. I like Dan. He's a nice
yeah.
guy. 540 Slinger trying to get me in trouble here, man. Go get some sleep. Good evening, Phil and Sam. Joining in late. Hey, Jeff, great to see you, my friend. Halibut man, that's Mitchell. What's up, Friedman family? So Mitchell shows up at our surf fishing event, and he's there. He loves kids, and he's always helping, and all I got to do is say, hey, Mitchell, can you help tie? He's on it. Then he walks up to me and he goes, I got the call. I got to go. And I go, what's going on? And he goes, we're going halibut fishing. Yeah. 26-pound personal best flatty. Wasn't that great?
Yeah.
Way to go, Mitchell. And his girlfriend won the Derby at Dana Wharf Sportfishing for last month. So all good stuff surrounding him. Jake Lightford is surprised about something. Red Pill. Hey, Sam, thanks for answering my previous question. You're welcome, Red Pill. I want to put a wind-on leader on my
Mac 20.
Mac 20, pardon me. See, I blew one finally. Any suggestions on what pound test? And can you guys put it on? Thanks in advance.
Definitely, we can put it on. If it's going to be your your big fish jigging, or nighttime jigging setup, I probably would just put on some 200-pound wind on is what I do. What I would recommend, and yeah, we can put that on for you, no problem. Depending on what kind of line you have on there, we might have to make a loop on the end of your line, but that's no problem either. And then we'll just join them, and we'll show you how to do that too. It's actually not that hard.
Man, we have a lot of questions here. Sam, you are not going to bed anytime soon. Let me tell you that right now. Jake says, a great bunch for sure. Cue ball, the Baja and Sorabo Islands. Baja is a world-famous reef or high spot at the mouth of the Cortez Bank, of the Sea of Cortez. Nate Saul. Hey, quick question. Hey, Nate. I'm trying to get a reel for night jigging. Should I upgrade from my Generation 1 Penn Fathom 40 ND or 40 NLD?
Yeah, I mean, the one that I recommend, the one that I use is that Shimano Osha Jigger 4000. It's the operation of it and how it winds is just makes jigging a lot easier. as far as the jigging motion. The Fathom actually is not a bad reel either, though. So I think you're in pretty good shape with that. But if you're really going to want to get into the jigging, proper, so to speak, as far as something that is going to just make the jigging motions a little bit better and easier, I do like the Ocean Jigger 4000. But the one you got there isn't too bad. Some guys also have been starting to buy some of those Accurate. They have that 800 narrow, and the reason that they're buying it is that you can buy it in a 2-speed. So that one's pretty good too. But I don't know. The one you got there should be pretty good. Yeah.
All right, David Alcantar has a very keen observation, and he's absolutely right, man. Normally, you start catching rockfish in the wintertime, cold water, and then everything else progresses from there. But David says, hey, this rockfish in April feels backwards. We're seeing good signs of bluefin tuna, yellowtail, sea bass, and halibut before a cod even hits the deck. And I think that's that El Nino. Well, you have to wait till 8 o'clock tonight to get the whole story. But I think that's what it is. We had that, and it's just pushed us into this great start to 24. It's been really good. Doug Rubin, El Sueño, down in beautiful San Diego. Doug, thanks for joining us. Great to see you at the PCS show. And thanks for hooking me up with the Winthrop butt so I can catch a cow tuna. Yes. You met Doug?
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him for a while, but yeah, he's great. Steve Bermuda says if you like them going down. Yeah, I like them going down. Wait till they come up. I hear it's breeding time for them.
The eels.
My eels.
Yeah.
They're all tangled up in my esophagus, Steve, so they're not coming up. Mackie says, Phil, my sister was in your son's class. I was 4 years older. I was jealous of all those fishing trips and whale watching they went on. Yeah, I was always doing something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. And when I taught at Bishop Montgomery back in probably 86, 87, I started the Bishop Montgomery Fishing Club, man, and we went to San Clemente Island with 50 kids and had a really great time. So cool. Kids and fishing, man. Thank you, Mackie. It was great to see you. I hope we see you either on our Grunion hunting expedition, which the viewers tonight have inspired me to do that, or on our next surf fishing adventure. It was really good to see you. Raul, Sam, picked up a Penn Visix 12 and want to pair it with a UC rod.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I was looking at something here.
Raul said Sam picked up a Penn Visix 12.
Yeah.
He wants to pair it with a rod,
So
UC rod.
On mine, I have a Visix 12. I like it a lot. I actually fished it on a Raptor, UC 76, CX 76 Raptor. That's what I like on there. That's one of those examples I was talking about earlier. That reel, even though it's not they're big giant internationals, you can still pair it with like maybe even a Predator or a Terminator, which is their heavier rods in their live bait series. But to me, that reel is kind of more on a larger format, and I like it. I just like the way it feels better on a Raptor. So that'd be the CX or the RCX 76 Raptor.
All right, El Patron this weekend out of Long Beach, sport fishing, $135 Saturday and Sunday to Catalina Island, and then the Island Spirit Saturday and Sunday up out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Book online, and when you check out, put in their preseason 20, you'll save 20% off your bill this weekend. You're not going to want to miss that. Chris Navarro says, how much is that Taddy book? I'll buy one right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really available through tackle shops quite yet. I think he was selling them at the show, kind of a show special for $100. You'd have to probably try to contact him through Facebook or Instagram. I don't know if he has a website or nothing like that. And I'm not sure exactly how he's going to sell the rest of them. But yeah, it's a pretty cool book, Chris. I think you missed out on that.
Great question from William. Is it possible to keep grunion alive long enough to be fished the next day off the beach or docks? You get one of those aerator things in a bucket.
Maybe, yeah. Are you allowed to fish grunion live bait?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You probably want to look at that.
Did you ask the... No, you didn't do that either, huh?
I will.
No, you were going to do it at the show.
Oh, I couldn't read. Those guys were busy, too. I couldn't even find those guys.
You had something lined up.
What? Oh, I didn't have anybody lined.
Oh.
I couldn't walk 2 feet at that show. Now, I'm not trying to sound like I'm some... Oh, it's Phil Frieman.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. It's what happened. I couldn't...
Pretty transparent.
There was egomaniac. What a jerk.
No, you said you were going to talk to the fishing game.
I never got to him. I'm going to send Carrie a message. Carrie Wilson.
You need to have them be on the show.
I know, I agree with
Yeah,
you.
that'd
Yeah,
be a
and then
good-
ask
that'd be a good
questions.
episode.
Like we have been set lining with sabiki rigs.
You can
down
have
at
them the next 3 Tuesdays.
You'll feel totally different when you eat an eel and get some
Yeah.
sleep. Let me tell you, those eels have like somebody told me they have an energy kind of thing to
Really?
quality to
Oh,
them.
wow.
Yeah, try one.
No, I'm good.
What's wrong with you, man? All right, Rick Slater wants to know: do you have any
Oh, yeah.
976 sound clips? You sent us out on your headings. Always found fish, even albies. Waiting to see what you say. Rick, that's awful kind of you. Yeah, I loved actually doing the private boaters thing because I get intel from everybody, and then we'd send some guys out like were the opposite direction of the sport boats, and they'd catch, man.
Yeah.
So we were good. Rick, what I don't know that I have like the actual recordings from the telephone service, but I have a lot of videos that we shot, and Bob Alvarez and I did a bunch, and I've been posting some of that stuff. So I'll post some more here in the next. To be honest with you, I listen to that narration and my voiceover, and I'm just cringe when I hear it. I was so over the top. I was a little bit too crazy, but people loved it.
Oh, you're
man,
talking about
so-
back then?
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like, you're talking about right now. What should I do? I'm going to pour these frickin' eels down your throat tonight. That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm just walking right into it.
Yes,
dude.
you are.
The guy that's completely fatigued and so tired he can't see straight
Rope-a-dope
is
here.
killing me. I'm going to start getting a little more aggressive here. Hey, Chris Navarro says, as far as multi-day trips, I can't leave the dock with
Yeah.
less than 8 rigs. Jig fishing
Yeah.
is my passion.
That's another thing too. Even on those long trips, I'm starting to take more of that kind of stuff. I always tell people that this year, you know, they're doing that Cedros trip. I'm going to take a couple of those jigging rods down there too. It's a lot of fun.
ELD TV, we haven't seen you for a long time. It's good to hear from you. Hey, Phil and Sam enjoying the show. Phil, glad you're better. Congratulations on the new grandbabies.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're coming. It's going to be July and August. Patrick, is in July, right around my mother's birthday, around July 10th, and then Philip's in mid-August. So thank you so much. We are all really, really excited about that. Eclipso just tuned in. Where's Michael plundering the wings?
Yeah.
Michael's at a baseball game.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, he wanted to kill you when he
I
heard
did.
Monday he had no baseball, nothing. He
yeah.
was all, Tackle Shop Confessions. And then
him
you
up.
switched it up on him, man. And he's a child. You realize that, right?
I do.
A child with
Yes,
a
you are.
fragile.
Oh, you talking about Michael?
He's fragile. He's a fragile little
You are
boy.
fragile.
Yes, he is.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, I'm not fragile. All right, where are we here? Raymond Pacheco. Anyone in the Vegas area know where to fish or is familiar with the Vegas area to fish? One more week and I close escrow. I'm sure you find somebody that I'm sure you can find. I bet if you do a
Lake Mead, they got Lake Mead over there.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. They have guys go over to Havasu.
do a YouTube search and or a Google search, and
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Raymond.
Huh?
Yeah, Raymond.
Yeah.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
Raymond, I'm trying to help him out. You're just telling him, Lake Mead.
What I would do, you could say a little nicer.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me hear
No,
how you would
could.
say it.
Maybe you can't.
What?
I'd say, well, Raymond, you might try checking out some
You're
YouTube
the
stuff.
guy that told Carlos that he asked a dumb question
Yeah, but
tonight.
I followed it up with something nice.
Well, I'm not finished with
Oh, okay,
Raymond yet.
okay, I'm
So
sorry.
Raymond, that's one way you could do it. You could do that. You're always welcome to text me or call Sam at 3 o'clock in the morning, anytime. Let me give you his personal cell phone number right now. All right, yeah, I would, do a little research on it. If you have any trouble, let's give Sam a call. He'll take care of it from there. Cholula's Calamari and Kayak Rentals. Great. Sam, could you update us on the R&D after every single fishing trip? This show produces itself.
Yeah.
He's right.
That'd be a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
So you go on a trip and then you come back and say,
back.
here's what I learned.
Yep.
Here's the tag. Dude, great idea. I like it. Eclipso, great job covering the surf and halibut scene. Phil, keep up the good work and thanks for keeping the podcast feed going. Love it on my commute. Eclipso, thank you for your great support. Sam and I and everybody, well, I don't know about Sam, but I deeply appreciate it. I really do.
He does.
Yes, I do. Kristen Navarro, it's almost 8 p.m. Sam, I am. It's almost bedtime. Love the show. I'll see you guys soon. Rocket Dog, have a good night. Tight lines. Are people saying good night to
Scared him
us?
away. See, I told you.
Well, you're tired, man. Hey, man, look. Hey, everybody's saying good night. Like, what time is it? Oh, this thing's only been going not even an hour and a half yet.
That's a good long time.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to keep going here kind of fast because I want to get Sam to Betty by, and I want to eat the rest of my eels here tonight. Jeremy says, or Rocket Dog says, good night. Tight lines. Thank you so much. Jeremy says, good evening, Phil and Sam and Friedman Adventures family. I'm sorry I missed you at the show. I missed you too, Jeremy. Chris Navarro, what's this week's post-show deals? Good question.
Good question, yeah.
Eels for sure. He's got a good deal on eels.
Yeah.
Buy a reel and get a free eel to eat. Yeah, delicious.
The eel deal.
The eel deal.
So, guys, here's what I wanted to do is pretty much, for these guys that couldn't make it to the show, is extend the deal here till the end of the month. Not everything that was available at the show is available now. We sold out of some stuff, and so some of the other manufacturers were offering free giveaways and things like that. So we obviously can't do that. But a lot of the deals that we're doing at the show, we're going to just continue to do them the rest of the month. I don't have anything printed or something like that, but I might make some posts here later this week on a few different things. But if you guys didn't make the show, or maybe just got down there and spent a little bit too much on one thing and didn't get to another, come on down or call us and we can definitely hook you up on whatever you're missing for the season.
All right, very good. Jeremy said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh, he got his truck fixed after his brake issues on his way home. Yeah, he sent me a text when he was having all that trouble. Glad you got home safe. Chris Navarro, secret code Sandslinger XXX. All right, there you are. Matt Postel, another great tackle shop confessions. Matt, I concur 100%. Sniper Gene, for halibut fishing, any recommendations on sinkers between torpedoes and cannonballs?
Yeah, those cannonballs will run a little bit straighter, but I think that torpedoes are fine. You just usually can't get them as big. But if you're going to use a torpedo, it spins around a lot, so you're going to want to make sure you put that on some type of ball bearing swivel or something like that. But I think most of the guys that do it a lot are using the cannonballs.
All right, very good. Sniper Gene, Chris Navarro, Raymond Davis Dam. There you are. That must be a good Vegas place. Jake, let the man go to bed. No, let's torture him a little bit more. Jake, come on. You're no fun. Chris Navarro, we've got just 3 more comments, and I might turn you loose. Chris Navarro, Jake Langford, Chris Navarro. We're saying goodnight so we can go get our wide open albacore update. That's right, everybody. 8 o'clock tonight, I'll be back with the albacore update, which will for sure put Sam to sleep. I guarantee you that. Steve Bermudez, maybe you can get Big Fish to sponsor a bloodworm eating contest. Oh, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Ugh, yeah, maybe. And Tim Marquez says, what's up, fellas? A little late. There you are. Q-Ball says, eat the eels. Senor Deal, Andrew and Isabel say hi. Hey. Andrew and Isabel. It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you for a long time in person. Actually, I saw Andrew. He was hanging around your booth over there, so it was good to see him. And Tim Marquez, best income tax. You're going to want to give him a call. Rick Slater, hey, Sam, can you sell surf fishing setups for beginners? That is better than Walmart.
For sure. I mean, that Walmart stuff, well, here's a couple of things. First, a quote-unquote proper surf fishing rod and reel. You get into some discussions about, length and things like that, but realistically, you can get away with almost any kind of like small to medium, freshwater outfit. I mean, the stuff that the guys that do it a lot, the stuff that they use is definitely a little bit more specific, 8.5 to 9.5 foot rod, 2,500 size reel, small spectra with small line, that kind of stuff. And it does catch you some more fish. You are able to cast better and things like that. But a lot of that really kind of applies more to the guys that are fishing the Lucky Craft. If you're just trying to catch some perch, some corbina, that kind of stuff, yellowfin croaker, any 6 to 8 foot, lightweight rod, something rated like a 6 to 12 or something like that. Even 4 to 8 would be just fine. And you'd put a 6 or 8 pound test on it and use a Carolina rig. You'll catch fish just fine. So I wouldn't get too caught up in getting something that's quote-unquote proper. And we got plenty of stuff like that here, too.
All right, very good. Giver Plus. Man, here come the questions again. Wow. Predictions on when the yellows are going to show at Catalina.
You said they're not coming, right?
No, I say they're coming. Okay. 2 weeks, they'll be catching them. I think, honestly, what I think it is, no one's over there. Like the pursuit's not running there. Nobody's once, probably
it's
like.
jugged, probably. It's probably jugged.
There's yellows there, man. Yeah. I guarantee it. When do you say?
Well, I think they'll be there this summer for sure, yeah. Right after Labor Day.
Jeremy.
Memorial Day.
Jeremy, is the albacore prediction, is it a prediction or are they being caught? Don't jinx it. Oh, you think I'm going to tell you?
Yeah.
Tune in at 8 o'clock for the answer tonight. 5:40 Slinger, dinner break over. Got to get back to work. Looking forward to watching the full show tomorrow. Thank you, Jeff. Cholula's Calamari and Kayak Rentals on long-range trips, boxers briefs or boxer briefs. I vote boxer briefs. With all those hooks around, I want to keep it tight. Good night.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You like that? Eclipso, $5 bill so Sam can have a cup of coffee. Dan in Santa Cruz. Dan, we deeply appreciate that. Thanks, my friend. You know what that means? He wants the show to continue on. You start drinking coffee. Nautical tenderness. Hey, gents, got an HXW Raptor paired with a Phoenix X2H, 40 to 100 pound. Am I undergunned for the bigger tuna? Thanks in advance. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd probably be the stretching the limits of that rod there. The reel's probably fine, but that 4100 rod is still pretty dang capable, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad with, hooking up to a 100, 150 pounder with that. Once you start getting into that plus 200 size fish, I probably would recommend maybe looking at the 3X, but that 2X is still pretty stout. So you're not totally out of the game, but if you're, if you want to kind of like extend the capability of that reel, I probably will step up the rod one or maybe even 2 steps to like a 4X even.
All right, Dan Smith wants to know what kind of wax I use on my head. He'd love to get his that shiny. It's natural, let me tell you.
Is it?
Yes, carnivore diet. We'll do it every time.
Got an oily head.
Yes, all that collagen, all the muscles and stuff you eat. William, it can't be all tuna and long range. It starts in our own backyard, and for most of us, it's all we got. Thanks for the great show. I wish tuna, hang, halibut, and bass locally. I love it, man. We are thinking the same thing. Chris Navarro, beef birria. Que rico. Jeremy G. Heard a lot of people are going away from the rail rod and using jigging rods to get more action on the jig for bluefin tuna. Have you also heard this or think it's a good method?
I don't think, I haven't heard it to be a lot. I definitely think that there's a higher percentage of people doing it, every year, but I wouldn't consider it to be a lot. I think when you go on a boat, you're still probably going to find, out of 25 people, maybe 2 people that are doing it, maybe 3, But there are some trips, where groups of guys will fish together. That's one of the things that we've been talking about a little bit is that it seems like even within the segment of fishing, the guys that do it a certain way, especially if it's something that's different, those guys seem to kind of congregate. And a lot of times they'll go fishing on trips together, So on occasion you might see a trip where you might find 10 guys that have that kind of gear. But by and large, I think you'll find only a couple on most trips that have it. And is it something that is a good method? Yeah, at times it is. I've seen those guys smoke everybody at times. Not all the time, at times. So like anything else, sometimes they want to eat a dropper loop, sometimes they want to eat a jig, sometimes they want to eat a yo-yo, or whatever. So I think, it's different every trip. It's a good tool to have. I wouldn't say that you're going to replace a rail rod and just a standard knife jig. I don't think that's really the case, but I would definitely add it to your arsenal.
All right, Richard says, thanks for the great deal on the Alexa 500. Fished it on Sunday. Cast jigs a mile.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm going to eat a couple of eels. You're going to tell everybody about where they can find you here. And we're going to say goodnight and thank you to everybody. Hit that like button if you would. Don't miss the 8 o'clock albacore update tonight and morning briefing tomorrow. Sam, take it away.
All right, guys. We're at Island Fishing Tqckle in Carson, 21809 Avalon Boulevard, City of Carson. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 to 6. You can call at 310-707-1205. And if you want to get a hold of me, send me a message. You can do it on Instagram or Facebook at Island Fishing Tqckle. See you guys later.
All right, for Sam De La Torre, Phil Frieman saying thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Tackle Shop Confessions. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you next week with another great show.